customers. My seat so off this chair, so yeah, that's better. So we can get some things wrapped up for our customers. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bourbon Company's Black Series Edition LLC. We have our new FLE APEX Gamer technology, which is now available. I'm going to be adding, we got free LED lights with it. So it comes in 64 ounces, paints a screen size of up to 180 inches. One coat application, ultra short throw compatible. You spray it on, roll it on, it's up to you. As you've seen in the demonstrations with the technology in a commercial environment, not in a home environment, commercial environment, that this screen looks absolutely incredible. And mind you, we did the demonstration on a $10 720p XGA projector and some cardboard boxes. We're going to add in with this, because I'm trying to put everything in there for the gamer, or we're going to be using this for. We want the LED lights in, but I do want to put in a blackout cloth surface that you can paint with. So I'm going on here to see exactly what this is going to cost me. So let me see. No. I want that. Let me see. So I'm thinking at the end of the day, because a lot of people can't paint their walls. Some people can paint their walls, some people can't. And you got to figure out a way how you're going to make your screen. So we want to make sure we have everything there for you. So I think I just won't add this in with everything. Everybody should have these. We used to give out free blackout cloth. We give away a lot of free stuff. Like I said, at one point we gave away free paint sprayers too. Free blackout photo. Back. Okay. In mind you, I made screens out of bed sheets. Use those too. So I want to do it 10 by 20. A 10 by 20 surface gives you plenty of breathing room. There's no point in me giving you a product that's going to paint up to a 180-inch screen, and you got a screen size of 100 inches. Still, you're going to have to figure out, if you want to go bigger, how you're going to get that surface. So a 10 by 20 is huge. This would do the job. And this is what I'm going to get for you. So we usually go to the company, get it for a lot cheaper, but we still pay for it at the end of the day. So you have everything there you need. So this has already been added in. I'm about to add in that information. And after that, I got to dart out. I got packages to take over to the post office, and I got orders I got to get to. Let me see. We definitely want seamless. We don't want something that's going to have seams in it. That's the last thing you want to be dealing with. Now with any surface, as we said before, because surface do absorb, I'm going to put all that information in there for you. Surfaces do absorb. So we've talked about this many times. Anytime you paint any kind of fabric, you do want to make sure you go over it with a primer. Primer is just to absorb in the screen. It's designed to absorb. It's not going to change anything. It just absorbs so your screen doesn't come out spotty. It's to lay a foundation for you. See, other than that, anything else, we don't advise priming. We don't have to. So I like this one right here, polyester. Yeah, the polyester ones, I've used these before. These are actually quite nice. Shipping time is actually pretty good. So you can get it through here in no time at all. Okay, so that's pretty good. So this is the one we're going to go with right here. I'm going to go with these right here. This is a 10 by 20. It's huge. So it'll give you plenty of room to play around with. Mind you know, I hate it when people give you blackout cloth and it's 102 inches. Like 102 inches, but what if your frame is not 2 inches? What if your frame is 4 inches wide? Because some people like to build their frames from a wider frame. So that means basically you're going to be short on your screen, on your blackout cloth surface is supposed to cover your frame. This is why I can't express enough that when people try to copy what we do, you don't do research, and then you don't know. If a customer decides to build a frame using a wider piece of wood, then that means that the 100-inch you had that you gave to the customer should roughly be 102, 103, because they need enough to be able to fold to the back of the frame to staple it in. especially if they're doing like an edgeless, yeah, they're going to fold it to the back of the frame. I built tons of fixed frame screens, so I know about this stuff. But anyway, but if you make it where basically it's 100 inches precisely, then they really don't have enough room, even to fold around the frame. And just say if they build a structure out of like a wider, some people go with wider, they go with 4-inch wide, they go with 3-inch wide, because they won't go with the 1-inch because they figure that the 1-inch frame is not going to be sturdy enough, so they'll go with a much more wider. So it'll be like maybe 3 inches wide, 1 inch high. That's what they'll go with. So you have to consider the fact that now they don't even have enough fabric to even stretch across the frame because it's actually wider. So that's why you basically have to know what you're doing when you're basically giving away free products, because you have to do the research on the product and you have to test it. I've tested this stuff so many times, it's not even funny. I have so many demonstrations on building your own frames. It's not funny at the end of the day, but you need to put more of those demonstrations on there. Wait. Don't we have that on the other site? We got a how-to page on there? Or we do got a how-to page on there. I got to get over there and start updating that page. We've got more stuff I want to add to that. So the Crystal Witch site has a how-to page on it that shows you how to do all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, so let me see. So I like this one right here. This is actually nice. I've actually used this kind of material before. All right. All right, this will work right here. This is fantastic. So when you get your package, it's going to be in a large box, because you're going to have a set of LED lights in there, like these LED lights that glow in the dark. You're going to have these in there, 16 feet of that, and now you got a free surface in there, which I'm adding in because, again, you know, I want to make sure that you have everything that you need. And you have people that will contact me and scour around trying to figure out exactly what to paint it to because they got nothing to paint it to. So I think I'm doing that with the Quasar too. So from now on, all our products come with free screens because, again, it cuts down on what to paint it to. You know, like I said, some people rent and they can't, basically, they don't have permission to paint to the walls. I've talked to people about this, and this makes it much easier because now they already have a surface. And especially if you're going to do a 150-inch screen, yeah, that's an interesting surface to try to track down. So let me see. Okay, so 10 by 20 backdrop. Right. Let's go over here to add on our page. I can add this in right now. Now you're going to be doing something pretty cool when I get back. I'm going to turn a piece of metal into a projection screen. Yeah. This is actually one of the shelves that went to my cabinet over there. I didn't need it, so I figured just make a good size monitor for my desk. So I'm going to coat that with that gamer, turn it into a screen, and use a portable projector because it's much bigger than this. So I'm going to put it side by side. I'm going to put this over here and set that up over here. Take the portable projector, watch some demonstrations back and forth with it. Show you the kind of cool stuff you can do with it. Because I've had somebody ask about sheet metal. All right, let's go over here. And we got Halloween screens are coming in. We just had to add some new stuff with the Halloween screens. I want to add some kind of like flashing strobes with the Halloween screens, but I had to figure out a place I can get it for much cheaper so I can basically get them wholesale. So the Halloween screens will be in just in time for Halloween. We just want to get some stuff to add on with it. But we got them offline for right now. Let's go over here and get this. That is the 64. Oh, there we go. I'm still considering doing that too. But if I'm probably going to do, why can't I do both? No. It's just one step at a time, because there we go again. I'm thinking about, then if I'm doing a console, I want all three of them in one case. That's a big wide. No, because the motherboards are small. I got to figure out how to pick apart a Nintendo Switch. I like to have all three of them in one case with a switchboard. I can change back and forth. That would be cool. Let me see. Let's put here. That's free LED lights, and we're going to put in here free 10 by 20 white. Got my charge on my phone right now. White. Blackout cloth. Blackout cloth. All right, blackout cloth. Blackout cloth screen. So now you got more than enough room. You got more than enough room. This is a big surface. Mind, the screen is around 20 feet wide and about 10 feet high. So it's huge. So you got more than enough room. It'll do probably, let's see. So the 250-inch screen that I had in my backyard, that was roughly around 20 feet by 11 feet high. So that's how big that surface is. Give you an idea how big the surface is going to be. Let me see. Please note when painting fabric, we do advise you to prime the surface twice. Please note. Good for you. Now, do you need any special prime? No. Don't need anything. Any day paint, anything will work. It's to absorb. That's what it does. So that way, please note when painting fabric, we do advise, not eyes, advise. Jeez. Do advise. You to prime. You can use any kind of cheap paint. Doesn't make a difference. All you're doing is just absorbing. That's it. Because if you don't do this and you paint a fabric surface first, what's going to happen is some's going to absorb more, some's going to absorb less. You're going to use a lot of paint to coat that surface. That's why I advise you to prime the surface first and then go over it. If you're spraying it on, that's a different application. Let me see. Please note when priming fabric. When priming fabric. When. Why? Seriously, they put a capital in the middle of that? What the freak is going on with Google? Please note. When priming fabric, we advise you to prime the surface twice. We do advise you to prime the surface twice. Let me see where we're at on this. Oh, we do advise you. Let's see. Please do advise.
Here's the definition of advise. Offer suggestions about the best course of action to someone.
Yeah, apparently you don't know because you gave me eyes instead of advise. So, duh. Let me see. We do. Let me see. Please note when painting. We do. I'm going to put R in there. It's another mistake that shouldn't be in there. Please note when painting fabric, we do advise. We do advise you to prime the surface twice. Why? I gotta explain why. This gives you an even layer across your screen without the screen absorbing too much and causing blotchiness to the surface. It didn't look, it just canceled out the whole thing. Like, you know what? We're done. You're just doing too much. Really? Literally did not put that in there. How does it not listen to what I just said? Did you just hear me just say that and the screen just took it out? Like, okay. This allows you to have an even coating to the surface without the screen absorbing too much on an unbalanced level. All right. Jeez. This advises you to have an even coat, not coating as in coating. This is the reason why I tell you that even if you don't know how to spell it correctly, you know how it's spelled. You already know how it's spelled, so you can recorrect Google. And in some case, what we've seen so far with some people, they can't recorrect Google because they don't even know the proper way of basically how it's spelled or how it's worded. That's what's concerning. Let me see, even coating to the surface without the screen absorbing too much or an unbalanced level. Should be level. So, you know, that's the part that I find a little bit unearthly, that the fact that You know, even if a person doesn't know how to spell it, they kind of got an idea of how it's spelled. They know, they're not sure. And then basically that's why some people, when they do spelling bees, will say, can you put it in a sentence? They can get an understanding of what that particular word is and how it's supposed to be spelled. But if you don't even know basically how it's spelled or how it's used in a sentence, then you just don't know the word at all, period. And that's the crazy part about it, because again, you would learn that in first grade. You would learn that in first grade with no problem. So I don't even know how you can be an adult and not know that, unless basically we had a guy, remember, I never forget this, we had this guy who basically his parents just didn't feel the need to educate him, and he couldn't read, he couldn't write, he couldn't even tell time, he didn't even know what numbers were. But you had to go through the school system. Like, what happened? I mean, even if you basically went to basic and LD class, you still would know that. Now, some people have dyslexic, where they do things backwards, but still, at that age, you still would have had to basically, by then, something. Come on. By then, something. Unless you just went through school and you just didn't do jack. And you got people who dropped out of school, and people at the end of the day who basically played around in school, but even they know that. Unless you're in some wilderness somewhere, and I don't know. I swear I can see how, but other than that, I don't know. But you would just get an idea. I have to go in and correct Google, because I can tell Google did it wrong. Like, what the freak? Well, why do you have that there? It's not supposed to be there. And even my freaking spelling and all that is not immaculate, but at least at the end of the day, I know. That's why even you got people who can have excellent grammar. At the end of the day, they will pay somebody to go in and basically fact check or proof check everything they're writing, because even they make mistakes and they don't want to look like an idiot in front of a bunch of people when they're giving out a speech. And literally, they have other people who proofread, have other people who proofread for them, because they don't want to look like an idiot. Man, I had this guy, well, I'm telling you, he was a friend of mine. His grammar was absolutely perfect. He was 16. He had insane grammar. He was just good. Perfect. But he wasn't a jerk about it. That's what I liked him. That's what I liked him at the end of the day. He wasn't a jerk. Because you got some people like, don't you mean you said it incorrectly? You know, that's how it's... People who do that, stop doing this. The reason why no one calls you for parties or events or whatever, and you're sitting home alone all the time, that's why you're a jerk. No one likes that at all. And it's a good way to get punched in the face, too, on top of that, just being that jerk at the end of the day. But still, I don't condone violence, but at the end of the day, like I said, you're going to tick somebody else and punch you in the face. But, yeah, he wasn't that type of person. He was a very, very nice person. Like, he wouldn't even, if he were to try to correct you or help you out, he would pull you to the side and say, hey, look, you might want to write it this way, because this would be a lot more better. Like, oh, man, thanks a lot, man. I think you helping me with that. So he's a 16-year-old kid. So I was giving him $60 a week and for him to just go through my stuff. So that's what he was doing. He's going through my stuff and recorrecting it. And he wouldn't come back and say, well, this, that, and blah, 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 blah. So I just recorrected everything. I said, okay, here you go, $60. And so I'll give him some spending money. Just to go in and just, all he had to do was just proofread my stuff and come back, just recorrect it and give him $60. But yeah, he was real good at that, man. His mom was no joke. She was real strict about that kind of stuff. All right, let me see. Please note, when painting a painting fabric, we do advise you to prime the surface twice. Why? This allows you to have an even coating to the surface without the screen absorbing too much. That does not make any sense to me. Yeah, I say absorbing too much, but it's like and on. Absorbing too much. Absorbing too much. Too much. Leaving an uneven, blotchy surface. Uneven, blotchy surface. So what happens if you don't coat fabric? Fabric basically absorbs. It absorbs like a sponge. And if you don't have enough paint, because it absorbs more here, it absorbs more or less there, what happens is you end up with a blotchy surface. This is why when I look at people who paint screens and I look up and if they're outside, I can see the outside transferring to like the back of the screen. I can see light pushing through, and you can see where the strokes are heavy here, the lighter here, it causes blotchiness. So to eliminate that, that's why we're able to do a 250-inch screen. And when we turned that projector off, we had floodlights on the deck. We had lights in the basement. None of that transferred to the screen. It was all blocked off. That's why you have to do this application codes that way. So it's a very easy process to do. Basically, we did it at 250 inches. Very easy to do. Get the first one to dry. Let that dry. And it has a nice application. And keep in mind, you put the first one on, it's going to be blotchy. It is going to be blotchy. It's going to look like it's not taken. It is taken. Just cover the whole surface. That's it. Don't worry about how bad it looks. And then once that dries, then you apply the second one. We have videos actually showing you how to paint the 250. And when you paint that over, that one's going to go over much nicer than the other one. And then you go apply ours. You're going to use less paint, and you're going to get an even layer all the way across. And the reason why I can put all this in here, because I did it already multiple times. I mean, fabric screens I've had inside and outside, I've done this multiple times. This is why I advise that why people who make these comments about how they're giving you instructions, but they can't give you instructions if they don't have an experience of painting their own product in. Let me see. Like rear projection technology. You see the specification sheet we have on a rear projection? It's insane. It has to be that way. There is so much information missing on some people's specification sheets involving rear. You can't just put down, it does rear, and that's it. What do you mean? Because if you don't put those questions in there, the person who's buying is going to answer those questions, and what are you going to do if you don't know them? Hang the phone up? Leaving, okay, so too much. Too much, let's see, without the screen absorbing too much, or I'm going to put that and because it's both going to happen. So it should be and leaving an uneven blotchy surface. So do you need a special primer? No. Any paint will work. Doesn't make a difference what it is. It can be $7 paint. Don't make a difference. It's just there to absorb the paint, absorb the surface, so that way you have an even surface. That's all it's used for. So you don't need anything special. Don't go out and spend those $60, $70 or $30 or $40 or something for an expensive container primer, because it's not going to really do anything. You're just absorbing. That's all you're doing. It's like when you got a sponge, and a sponge basically, no matter what you do, you can absorb this and absorb that. But if you take that sponge and you stick it over the faucet and you let that thing fill all the way up where basically you can't absorb no more, you can't absorb any more water because it's hit its limit. Same scenario. So that's what you're doing. And I wanna put this in highlight so they know that this is something good. So you can see that. And I want to put it in bold in there. Put it in bold. And put it in. No, give me this instead. I want this one. This one. I want to put in a bright color. There we go, so it stands out. And we always hit 8,000. We always hit 8,000. What the freak? We hit 8,000 again. This is one of the biggest pains I go through on this site. Is basically maxing out the 8,000. We constantly max out the 8,000. Because again, as I said before, that's why when people get mad at me when I sit there and go, why are your specification sheets so small? Do you know how much information you have to know to make a screen paint? It's a lot of information. Go to eBay, look at their specifications. They're huge specification sheets over there. So I'm like, why are your specifications so small? That's because you don't know anything about the product. If you don't know anything about your product, you can only put so much out. That's like a difference between two people studying nuclear physics. You got one that basically spent years studying it. That guy can write an entire book. He's only a bigger chalkboard because he's got a lot to say at the end of the day. But somebody who basically really didn't study, really didn't do any work at the end, just kind of skimmed it, how much can they teach you? They don't know enough themselves. See, there you go. That's why I look at the specification sheet. I'm like, that's it? Yeah, I'm missing a lot of information in here, aren't you? Yeah, because they can only put down the bare minimum because they don't know what they're doing. We max these out all the time. Oh, man. Really? So I got to contact them. Like, look, you got to expand this at least 20. Give us 20,000 at least. Just doing all these updates. Update this. Boy, it's got to be a pain in the neck for people selling vintage cars. Couldn't imagine. Any kind of antiques, you got to go back to the history of the antique and so forth, the whole storyline behind it, all that and everything. Because you're selling an antique item. Ugh. Oh. Oh, it's just such a pain in the neck. Wait, why do we have that? Oh, no, we have that. That's the class of the screen. Fully weatherproof. Please note this. Support. We got that in there already. That's already in there for projectors. We only support. And I can't express that enough either. Please do not use this with your knockoff projectors. It will not work in any way whatsoever. It ain't gonna work. And if you do happen to get it to work, we're not gonna support the projector. I wouldn't advise you to do it. We got it now? Yes. All right, cool. Can't put anything else in there. We maxed out that section. Well, yeah, I got Wix. If you're gonna basically update anything, please update that to 20,000 because 8,000 is not enough. We got so much information. We got pick and choose. That's why we have showroom pages because there's not enough picture. Oh, please add more pictures in there. At least a good maybe. We got what? How many pictures they give you in this thing? It's never enough. And you got videos you can put in there, yeah, but it's not enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You got that's 15. 15. That's it. All we got is 15. Give us 30. Gonna have to build an entire showroom connected to these things, and then I have to put in a ton of pictures in there. I can put all my everything I want to do. That's why we have the showrooms, because there's nothing you really can put in there. Oh, these are Halloween screens, right? These things are gonna be available pretty soon. I'm gonna lock these in right now. Put that and bring these right in. All right. These are good to go. We got inventory. Where's inventory on this thing? Oh, we're gonna have to base inventory a little higher than that. All right, that's good to go. Put these in right now. And somebody asked me a couple of days, like, you guys make a screen for making Halloween effects? I'm like, we actually do have one. And we got the gunmetal. That's coming out next week, too. We got a gunmetal quasar coming out. All right, so we got the free surface already embedded for the new gamer technology. We got somebody who placed an order over there for it. This is right after I do that. So just so you know, because you have this, we are going to send the surface out to you so you're good. Publish that. All right, so when we're done, when I'm done everything here and I get back in, I still got parts, still got a PC to build today. I am going to be taking the piece of metal I have behind me. I'm going to turn this into a screen. I'm going to use my 50 lumen projector to do demonstrations off of it. We need something for the desk. All right, make sure we got this published again, and then I'm done. All right, people, gotta go. Thank you for your time. Of course, we thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for blessing us with amazing technology, because if it weren't for him, well, none of this would ever exist at all. Gotta go, and God bless.